going to take you through my weekend reporting live from Michigan International Speedway for the NASCAR Cup Series and the NASCAR Xfinity Series. Let's get to it. After checking out the front stretch, I went through the garage area, and yes, the Trackhouse haulers are just as cool as everyone is saying, and that's Ty Gibbs' car heading to inspection. Right after that, though, I went back to the media center, and they had press availability for Brad Keselowski and Chris Buescher, also some other drivers there as well. And then they had the media bullpen just open up to the top 25 drivers, so I got to talk to drivers like Kevin Harvick, Ryan Blaney. Throw in there maybe Bubba Wallace, Denny Hamlin was also in there. We had Tyler Reddick that I was able to talk to, Austin Cindric I was able to talk to get some good quotes. I also was happy to be there for when Martin Truex Jr. announced he will return in 2024. And before we knew it, it was time to start the Xfinity Series race. There was a lot of calamity in there. I talked to Austin Hill about his incident with Chandler Smith, and then I talked to Carson Hocevar, who actually got airborne during this race. Then I did a little bit of writing following that race, and then I went back to the hotel room. And then this is day number 2, Sunday. It was very rainy. I was very disappointed. I walked into the media center, set up my things, and I was getting ready for another full day, hoping that we can get the whole race in. If you're watching this now, though, you know that we didn't. But then I went to the fan zone, saw some of the cool stuff they had going on there. This wasn't there last year, mini putt-putt, but it looked so fun. Then I recorded the race preview that I post every single Sunday before the racing action happens, so you know what's going on. Then I went back down to pit road just to see the sights and sounds of race day. I tried to see if there's any last-minute interviews I could get, last-minute information I could gather before the race started. It was really cool to see these teams prepping these cars, and then before we knew it, they were rolling them out to the grid, getting ready for pre-race ceremonies. Some of my favorite paint schemes, I gotta say, I love Denny Hamlin's paint scheme, and then this Rocket League one, so good, from Tyler Reddick. And then it was time for driver intros. This is them lined up behind the stage before they walk out in front of the crowd. I'm walking around, and then I see the NBC broadcast booth that they have on pit road. Very cool to see Dale Jarrett right there. And then the flyover happened. It was a very pretty flyover. I never underestimate those. Seriously, get a picture or something when that happens. It's so cool. And then, of course, it was time to start their engines. I always love that. You can never get over when drivers are called to start the engines on the track. Drivers started rolling out onto the track. Unfortunately, though, Mother Nature had different plans. They kept parading around, but nothing ended up happening. I was getting impatient. I know the fans in the stands were getting impatient, and then cars were called back to pit road, and we had a rain delay. I made my way up to the roof of the media center, though, and that was a really cool view. And at this point, it was drivers were called back to their cars, so overall, not that bad, and I was able to watch the race kind of get restarted from this vantage point, and you got to see all around the track, which was so incredibly cool. I stood up here for the first few laps of the race before I had to head back down and really take a listen and pay attention to what was going on. So unfortunately, Kyle Busch ended up crashing out of this race, same with Chase Elliott, so I went to the care center to interview them, get some quotes for a post-race piece in case we needed to write something up. Then, unfortunately, again, the rain won out. Cars were covered up, and the race was red flagged for the remainder of Sunday. Very disappointing, and just seeing the drivers getting out of their cars, the umbrellas out. I knew we weren't going to get back racing following Sunday, so of course the race was called, then went back racing Monday. I unfortunately was not able to stay, so I just kind of sadly watched the cars getting rolled back to the garage area from this gated area where the media center was. But that was my time at Michigan. I had a blast, and I can't wait till next one.